now it's 36 seconds. Now you're live.
Pivowana
Guna.
Mike
Niakit
Bidawaka.
Kulmante
Halito.
Unsti Huntedy
Sio
Yate.
Stongo
Niakit.
Oshkenyacha
Adiska.
Kikarus.
Chikma
Chili Jigma. Yakuke. Yakuke.
Yakuke. Good morning. Well, good afternoon.
Good
It's
afternoon.
actually afternoon.
It's lunchtime, brunch
yeah.
time.
We are on the West Coast here at the 2025 All Addictions Wellbriety Conference here in Portland, Oregon at the
Portland.
DoubleTree.
Yeah.
So I gotta get what's your take so far, Miss Escott?
Well, this is my first Wellbriety conference, and it's a lot different than the trainings. It's been really special so far already.
Good vibes, right?
Yeah. It's been really awesome. There's a lot of vendors set up here. Another podcast set up, and we heard, help me with her name, Kateri.
Terry.
Kateri. Kois.
Yeah.
Koyas.
Koyas.
Was our first speaker of the day.
Kois.
And it was pretty great.
Yeah, that's Dawn's daughter.
Yeah.
Kateri.
Yeah. So, as a returning attendee, how are you taking everything in?
Oh, everything's great. Good vibes. Good to see some of the similar faces from last year.
Yeah.
Different site. The environment here is really good. Being able to go out and see the falls again was still amazing. And it was kind of hotter last time we were here, and now it's more rainy and more cloudy, and I like it.
No, the good weather.
Northwest.
The Northwest.
Yeah, it's great weather.
Yeah.
So I mean, as a returning attendee, it's like a family reunion. You get to see a lot of familiar faces, and you get to meet new people.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's a great feeling to see other people from other nations, other parts of the, wherever they're from, other parts of the country, Canada, wherever they're from, on the same mission.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's the beautiful thing about this is you get to see what other people are doing and how they're incorporating, Wellbriety and the culture into their sobriety.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing, and I just love being a part of it. I like, we got Nishkit, Dr. Henrietta Mann here.
Yeah.
She's like the whole conference's grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great. I like the fact that Theta got to go up and speak to her and ask her if she knew her grandma. And come to find out that was her aunt.
Yeah.
She was nervous at first.
Yeah,
too.
she was. But
that's a connection right
that's
there.
a connection.
That's crazy.
So she probably knew who Theta was without Theta even knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's just another testament to the environment that we are in this weekend. So I mean,
I took Esme, our junior princess, up to meet her, and we told her who she comes from in the family. She's I thought you look like your dad.
Oh, she automatically
Esme's
knew.
dad. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, it's a smaller world than what you think. But then you kind of think about where everybody's from, and how we're all on the same page and all want the same thing, and the understanding that we're creating all these healthy forests, all over Indian country. And Don Koyas told us last time, that he feels like, and I feel this way too, that this is what this is our movement.
Yeah.
As Native Americans, as indigenous people, this is our this is what we got coming. And like they were saying, you can feel this thing catching on. kind of like all these fire starters are starting
Yeah.
that fire, and that fire is spreading.
in their communities.
Yes, so it's a beautiful thing to see. So how have y'all been eating?
Oh,
I gotta ask.
Lord.
Dang.
Don't
Good,
talk about
good.
it.
Yeah, right, eating good, huh?
We're not going out
Yeah,
or without.
definitely not going with
I
that.
think the first night trying them noodles was really good.
Man, that
Yeah.
I will never forget that.
Yeah.
That kind of I ate all of my food that
God,
night.
that changed
Dang.
you
It did.
spiritually. No.
And that's kind of why I like going, to these different places, because you
Yeah.
get to, I don't know if we have some of that back home, but back home, I'm just a cheeseburger and French fry kind of guy.
Glizzies, hot dog,
Yeah.
no buns.
Oh my God.
I
Keep it
mean,
simple.
I feel like, I'm not gonna go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Hey, buffalo with wings.
Yo. But I like to experience, not only the town, but kind of what they have around here.
Yeah.
So I thought we had, it was a great choice yesterday,
Mhm.
because I want to eat seafood. I want to try it, but I'm like, I'm not trying it in Oklahoma.
Right.
There's not an
Mhm.
ocean close to it.
It's traveled too far to
Yeah.
be good.
It's got to be frozen to get to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it
Yeah.
was a great idea that we pick a Mexican restaurant that was their thing,
Yeah.
was the seafood.
Mhm.
So that was pretty nice. I had fajitas that had
Fajitas.
shrimp in it. So yeah. So
Hopefully we find like another local spot.
yeah, a
for,
local spot.
for dinner maybe. Seems like there's gonna be some stuff going on here tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Friday
Yeah.
night they're gonna have a Wellbriety meeting.
Meeting. Yep.
Wellbriety
And then,
meeting. I think they're having one tonight too, right?
Yeah. Tonight, 8
Yeah.
o'clock.
And then Saturday will be the powwow. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
gonna go out to eat. We better.
Go early.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably gonna watch a little bit of OU football tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
at
Kent
Buffalo.
State. So I imagine it'll be ending early,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward. Hopefully they have gourd dance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
We
mean,
might have to go up there.
it's a northern drum. Do northern drums sing gourd dance?
Very rare.
I don't think they
not-
do. Not that
nah.
I've never heard it. But I mean, it'd be cool. You never know. There might be some folks
Somebody. Yeah.
somebody knows some gourd dance songs. Just 4 good ones.
We got. Yeah.
Even if it's the same one over and over.
Oh yeah.
I get out there and show out. Yeah. Get out
There's-
there and battle.
There's people here from like all over, like I'm starting to come out of my shell today and be able to go up and talk to people and ask them, where they're from. People are asking me where I'm from, and it's kind of cool to meet like the Cali crew that you guys
Oh yeah,
know,
for sure.
because I've heard so much about them, and so I've got to meet some of them, and
Yeah, Sunday, Toya,
really awesome.
Blakely,
Yeah.
and Bryce. I mean, it's just a great thing all together. That's family. That's my sister right there. So it was great to just keep that connection going.
Yeah.
I love seeing Toya and her grandson. It's just such a beautiful thing. So today we're waiting on Heights. We're waiting on Dominique. Hopefully they make it safely, and
Mhm.
it'll be even better. Because they're Oklahoma natives, but they're doing the Cali thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I love. Watching them thrive and do their thing. It's a beautiful thing. So, you meet anybody interesting while we're here?
I met a few from our first 12-step training in Reno, Nevada.
Oh yeah.
Got to meet the head
Got to
singer,
meet.
the head singer, Wellbriety drum. He
Oh,
was
you
in that
did
training.
Wellbriety training? with them?
Yeah, and there was Alan. And
Yeah, Alan's been at the gym every single time we've been at the gym.
yeah, and then
Oh, okay.
Jason. They were looking at me like, I know you from somewhere. I seen you. I said, me too. Then we kind of thought, what training we took together. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Reconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They're still in the Wellbriety, still working. So it's good to The head singer said he has a 5-month-old baby girl. So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
so it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, you didn't have Suda whenever y'all did the training,
No.
so y'all got to catch up.
Yeah.
He was still trying.
Hey.
Yeah.
It was in the
still
works.
trying.
It was in.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more girl.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think got to just see Winona, Noni.
Noni.
Yeah.
Nanito.
It's finally, I'm glad that the ladies got to meet her.
Yeah.
She's very big. I think, she's very, because she's a facilitator trainer.
Mhm.
Right.
She was one of the originals.
Yeah,
was-
one of the
yeah.
originals.
She did
I
my
mean,
warrior
she
dance
does.
for me.
Like it's great that people like that are aware of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And
still take part, even
Yeah.
though they've been like in the game so
in the
long.
game. So yeah, it's a great feeling, and like I said, hopefully next year. Yeah, already looking forward to
Yeah.
next year.
Already
Yeah,
planning.
go.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
But I mean, it's such a special thing to me. My first experience last year, I mean, it's kind of been unforgettable.
Yeah.
When you went to Billings.
When I went to Billings.
We went to the rim.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Came back with extra luggage.
Yeah.
Well, Nat did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not luggage, baggage.
Yeah, baggage. Came back with a load.
Yep. Stay forever. Yeah.
He was underweight. Now he's overweight.
Yeah.
Heavyweight champ.
So my first Wellbriety conference definitely left a great impression
Yeah.
on my life. So I mean, it feels good. Get to just got to see my brother Albert.
Yep.
Mhm.
Man,
Albert Tillman.
me and Albert, man, bro, we have so much in common. Like, not even like, I mean, like the physical part, like there's just so many similarities, and we know exactly what each other's talking about.
Yeah.
When we explain, like, we don't even have to explain things to each other. It's the first thing we said to each other this morning. You having a good vision day or a bad? He's like, it's a good one, because I know what a bad one is,
Yeah.
So, it's just cool to read, like to connect with somebody on that level.
Mhm.
That's
know.
rare.
Yeah,
Whenever you
very
can,
rare.
like, and your personality and like your sense of humor and all those things just like match up.
Connect, yeah.
Connect.
Yeah.
I know that's the first thing I was like, y'all kind of have the same like sense of humor, same similarities. Like just after
Yeah.
hearing him talk yesterday
Yeah.
and this morning, he's
That's
really
what made
funny.
our Sons of Tradition training so much
So,
better.
yeah.
I bet it
Because
was really
because
good
he
with
could
him.
relate to us on that level, the way that
Like,
we
he's
are.
great.
Like he would say his joke, and we would all laugh,
Mhm.
and he was like, "I like that."
No one laughs at my jokes.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a good guy, man, and that's what I told him, is that not only is it that you brought this Wellbriety training to us, Sons of Tradition, but it's who you are as an individual
Mm.
that brought that home to me.
mhm.
Like to see somebody carry themselves and believe in this thing and live this way, like it's easy to talk a good game, but to watch somebody actually make a difference in their community and, want this for other communities,
Right.
like I told them, that's what brought it home for me.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
one thing to talk about being a warrior, but to actually see them doing that,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Do warrior
is.
I think
things.
that's why so many of our stories resonate with so many people. And when you're in recovery early, like you always think that you're alone and you're the only person that ever experienced your type of story.
Mhm.
And so these kind of gatherings and these events where you can hear from other people and know that they've gone through probably some of the same stuff that you've been through,
Mhm.
it makes the community grow and it makes your network grow and it allows you to, just be able to talk more. And it just helps. And Albert is one of those people, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, any things y'all's looking forward to doing while we're here? Maybe if you get the opportunity.
Just in Oregon in general.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe.
I want to go to the Nike campus.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I do.
Looking forward to the powwow.
Yeah, me too. That sounds fun. I try to have like no expectations, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever we make it to, we make it. Yesterday, just kind of going with the flow. I don't know. That's just how I choose to enjoy myself, is by going with the flow.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that yesterday. You know.
Theta's making cameos in the background, or not Theta, Frida.
Oh, Frida.
Oh, Frida.
She's like, I'm gonna be in this live whether you like it or not.
Yeah, she knows she's always welcome.
Of course.
Camarlo, what do you
welcome.
think is your first All Addictions gathering?
It's good, man. Because Kateri that was a powerful presentation
Oh,
she
yeah.
had this morning.
Yeah.
You know, we all have that background in Wellbriety already, so that the beginning part was something I think we all related with. But hearing her presentation about kindness and how we can put it into action was kind of key to having people realize why we're here, and to hear that, you know, kindness is part of the medicine that we put together, and how we can go around and, you know, just be able to share your story and have that be a part of your life. And you know, just hearing her parts of the story and hearing her, you know, just hearing her talk and her passion behind it was powerful. And it was hard not to be emotional, because everything that she was talking about, you know, I was applying to how I could impact people around our community, or, you know, impact not just myself but my kids at the same time, and realize that, you know, there's still growth in how you can be more kind to people.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, you know, it's a big deal, because
it is
everything that you're going through, whether it's some drama or some trauma in your life, like how you react to it is a statement about who you are. And if you're going through it and you can still show kindness even though you're battling like on the inside, that isn't going to do anything but make you stronger. And I think that was a key part in hearing her this morning. And it was exciting to hear.
It was.
Yeah.
So like, if that's just the opening presentation, and
Right.
like, how much more am I going to learn just by being here? So it's great.
Yeah, when they talk about the boarding schools and they say, "Oh, it's a long time ago," I was like, well, you know, like, you know, my
Not
mom
for us.
Yeah, hey, my mom and her siblings were in the boarding school too. You know, they talked about how when they spoke Cheyenne, they would, you know, cover their mouth. You know, they either get spanking or soap in the mouth or something similar. So they don't like to talk about it. So hearing the other elders talk about it, you know, I could feel that, you know, and it's not that old, you know, it's just that next generation before me that went through that. So being able to, my mom and, you know, my uncles and aunties able to make it through, and, you know, and I can see that, like, the alcohol, the abuse passed down and how they got affected by it, and able to now, you know, this generation be able to break that cycle for the next generation. So I don't know, that comes a lot to me whenever I, you know, watching that presentation last year and then this year, you know, I still feel that.
There was a part that made me laugh when she's talking about how things are passed down. And you remember when Barry was talking about transgenerational epigenetic, and like those words actually came up inside the presentation, and I was like, I know he's sitting there like, see, I told you.
Yeah.
The honoriness.
But yeah, it cracked me up, because I was just like, I wanted to be like, hey, and point at both of them.
I told you.
It was like the middle of the presentation. But it just cracked me up because it was like part of her presentation.
Transgenerational epigenetic inheritance is an actual thing. Your trauma can be passed down. You know, and I think about, you know, the trauma that my parents went through, the trauma that my grandparents went through. You know, like, there's just like, but I also, on the other side of the coin, I think about why I've always been drawn to cedar.
Yeah.
To sweetgrass, to ceremony, to these songs, to that drum. Like I feel like that those things can be passed down too.
Yes.
Why I always felt more Cheyenne whenever I was at ceremony. Why I always been attracted to sage or willows, or like our medicines and the things that we hold sacred to us. So it's a beautiful thing.
And I think it's something like we as Native people always knew was there, but now science is catching up to where they're describing it.
Yeah.
Like, this is a genetic
putting
level.
it on a scientific
this
level.
is like a genetic DNA type of thing where it's not just indigenous people that feel that.
No.
It's people everywhere. It's
Yeah.
part of everything. 7th-generation healing and all the things that go along with it and how you feel when you're in different situations. And so like it just made me laugh that point came
I
up
told y'all.
because it was months ago where we were talking about it, and we've been kind of driving that point home about how we get past all the trauma of what we've been through as a people.
Mhm.
And if we go back and see how far maybe you've come in your family or your grandparents and how far they've come and how they tried to break whatever that trauma was in their life.
Yeah.
And to see how far they came, and you garnered some of that same strength, not just on a personality level, but on a genetic level because of what they went through. That's powerful, man. That's really powerful.
It is.
Mhm.
So I always think about, like Carlisle Indian School came up in that presentation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And how we are just now getting back our kids,
Yeah.
our folks that, like I feel like that's been a part of us that was missing, and now it's coming home. And I for some reason I think there's gonna there's a lot of healing that's gonna happen in that moment.
Yeah.
And when they get those kids home,
Mhm.
because they're on their way home right now, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Carlisle. So I feel like the healing of one is the healing of all. Just like the hurt of one is the hurt of all.
Mhm.
So I think it's huge that those kids get to come home.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
part of us, that was missing.
Alicia just came back from being up there because one of her family members were actually part of that. And she got to go up there and be part of that, where they brought him out and got to be. And so Esme and her are part of that. And she was talking to us about what happened up there, and she was like, "There's kids up there that no one even claimed, and that they knew that they were Cheyenne Repo, so other families adopted them so they could come back."
Mhm.
And they had records and everything, but no one could find their family. And I was just like, man, it's like that's deep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
And so that's why it's so key that I love that the tribe is doing what they're doing by having the memorial service
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
having the everything that's going to happen on Sunday and Monday. And it's just important for us to have that recognition and to see, and it's like you said, it's just a closure of that part of our life.
Yeah.
And to see how far we can come from that. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like as a tribe, we've all been affected by that. Because my grandma told my mom that when they came to get her when she was 6 years old, they came to her house and they got her and her brothers and her sisters.
Yeah.
And she thought to herself, she wasn't sure if she was ever going to come home again.
Yeah.
Like for
Wow.
a 6-year-old to have that on their mind,
That gave me goosebumps.
like to know, that would be like Josie, I know
Mhm.
she's older than that, but it would be like her thinking like, wow, like no more mom, no more family, like, and they thought they were doing us a favor. That's the crazy part
But-
about it.
Yeah.
And then they strip you of everything you've learned
Oh, yeah.
over those first 6
Oh, yeah.
years, like literally.
Language, everything.
And so, there were stories and things that I've read since hearing about all this that there's a reason and tactic behind everything they did.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
There was a reason that they put people on trains and made you go across the nation, so you couldn't just leave or run away
Yeah.
from where you're at because you had no idea where you were
Mhm.
or how far you went. And because in the beginning they were just having them not go that far, but people would run away.
Yeah,
like
people
all
run
the
away.
time. And so like people from Arizona would go all the way to Carlisle. People from Oklahoma would go all the way to Carlisle.
Yeah.
People from the southeast would end up going all the way up, up this neck of the woods.
Yeah.
And they did it on purpose
Right.
because it was harder for people to try to run away. It was harder for people to try to get away. And then even if they did, they knew they probably weren't going to make it back.
Yeah.
And that's the craziness of the world that we used to be in,
Mhm.
that we used to be a part of.
Yeah.
The way that the mindset has changed. One thing that stuck with me from this morning that I have been thinking about is when Kateri said that we had all these people, all these parents that didn't know how to love, and so that was because of the trauma
Yeah. The disconnection.
that we've experienced. And like whenever, obviously since I've got sober, I've had a lot of different like epiphanies or moments, but one of the moments that I had really early on in my recovery is that we as people like are capable of more than we're doing, what I
Mhm.
mean? And so I think that that's another thing to like acknowledge, is that we all are here to do that.
Yeah.
We can love, we can be kind, we can't, like, just because of trauma doesn't mean that we shouldn't work towards those things
Mhm.
every day. And I don't know, I just like to be mindful of that.
Yeah. I kind of like what she said towards, the closing is, all these animals, when a human was created, all these animals came and gave gifts,
Mm-hmm.
And the bear gave strength. The bear gave strength.
The
The
eagle
eagle
gave
gave vision. The wolf gave loyalty, and the chickadee gave kindness. And that was the greatest gift of all, because kindness, when you put it with strength, if you don't have compassion, we all know what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
When you have strength and no compassion. And then with vision, we all know what happens, when you have vision without kindness,
Right.
and so on, loyalty without kindness, so I like that story, and that's kind of the theme behind this conference,
Yeah.
is uniting in kindness. So, I mean, yeah, I sit here all day and talk about these things.
Yeah.
Should we read the meditation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Let's
I have
dive
it
in.
pulled up.
We got one comment.
Oh,
Okay.
What is it?
Oh.
It's from Resi Desi. She says, "Hey guys,
Oh,
Hey, Des.
dose.
Hey, Des,
dose.
we miss you,
Are you
girl.
holding it down?
Dose.
she's like, I'm not even at work."
Hey, I'm not.
Keep them straight.
Darren needs
Yeah,
to
straighten them out when you have to.
Yeah.
We won't be mad at you if you got to put your hands on them.
Yeah.
No. There's no cameras in there.
Yeah.
Make sure he's not drinking 3 or 4 rains a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be making 60 belts.
60 in
You know
one
what?
day.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let him drink.
Belts be this
Mm.
big,
Yeah, the belts. Be like
like bracelets.
Oh my gosh.
making collars for everybody.
Mm.
What do you have the meditation pulled up?
Yeah.
I
Oh
do.
yeah, she does. All right, go ahead.
October 3rd. Spiritual values are an attitude. Leonard George, Chief Counselor.
Fort
Mhm.
Leonard.
Fort Leonard.
Leonard. Attitude is a direction which we follow. If you have a positive attitude, it means you will lean towards a positive direction. If you have a negative attitude, it means you will lean away from the spirit. Therefore, if we lean towards the spiritual values, then our actions will become significant and important. If we lean away from spiritual values, our actions will become insignificant and unimportant. For example, if we value love, we will lean towards it. We will prefer to express and embrace it. Great Spirit, teach me the significance of spiritual values.
Ladies first.
No, you first.
Ladies
Ladies
first.
Bingo.
Let them have it, Bubs.
Oh, when I think what comes to mind is spiritual values, and just growing up in the city, but me being able to go back home to Sealand, Sundance, and Concho, and Fonda benefit powwows, and then going back to the city, you know, and then when I think about, you know, the boarding schools and stuff and what they teach, and then going back to the city, and I just think of, I'm just so, you know, blessed and thankful that my mom was, you know, here, still alive, and you know, back then able to take us back to our, you know, our culture, our ceremonies, and so like I didn't take anything for granted. I didn't forget about it. I knew like Cedar, I knew like the circle. I didn't understand it fully in detail, but I knew that to you know, just respect, you know, respect it and to what it means, and being able to hear the drum and man, just connect it with it even at an early age, and you know, into today, being able to dance and you know, and then show my kids now, you know, able to show them the circle and the ceremonies, and, you know, taking Suda into the Sundance and my sons, it was just seeing them put willows and, you know, going to gather all the, you know, willows, and man, it's just a blessing, you know. It's something that, you know, I didn't take a picture, but it's in my mind, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I just spiritual values, you know, it's just something very appreciative, you know. Even it's just the little things, big things, you know, and you know, doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's what I got.
Ahoo, ahoo.
I never like to go first because I like after I read something, I still take
Got to process.
yeah,
yeah,
I still take some time to
Stuff
process
start popping
it.
in
And
like,
so
So can
should've
you read
said-
that?
the top part,
Yeah.
spiritual values are an attitude.
Okay.
And I think this relates to a lot of what we've talked about, and also what we talked about this morning. You know, we talked about positive self-talk and negative self-talk, and basically, like we get to wake up every day and decide what mindset we're gonna, you know, be in. And even if you wake up with the little grumpiness, you have a chance to reset yourself. You know?
You do.
And you can reset yourself by taking a moment and prayer, meditation, whatever things that, you know, I like to practice in the morning, and really just reset yourself. It says if we value love,
Yeah.
we will lean towards it. If we prefer to express it, we prefer to express it and embrace it. And I didn't grow up with a lot of spiritual values. And so I think that my spiritual values came along after I got sober. And it's been really cool to learn and grow in that way, and then be able to be different for my daughter so that she can. You know, one of the values that I grew up with, and I talk about this often, but it was you can't change others, you can only change yourself.
Yeah.
That was one of the, I don't know if you call that a value. That's
It
like
is. It is.
yeah. And that's had so many different meanings to me over the course of my life, you know. But there are so many more spiritual values that I've learned: honesty, integrity, you know, all those things that I've instilled in my daughter. You know, things about children is that they lie sometimes. They
Yeah,
try to pull a fast one
definitely.
on you.
Yeah.
And because of Josie growing up the last, you know, 3 years in programs of recovery, she learned about she's already learned how to be honest, you know.
Yeah.
And she might still try and pull a fast one on me, but it's not even within the like 5 or 10 minutes, and she's like, okay mom, I lied. She knows, you know.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
knows honesty and integrity, and that's actually so important to me. Oh, thank you. No,
Thank
you already gave me some. You gave me some earrings. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. She's right there.
She's right.
She's right there. Okay. Thank you.
For your daughter.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. That was so nice.
You're so sweet.
He's got some earrings. Well, are you gonna go?
You can.
You're not gonna go?
I'm gonna go.
Oh, well, go
Well, I'll
ahead.
go after you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Many hapoos.
Yes.
He talked into the mic.
Sorry, I'm so used to it.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Carmelo.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that's so nice.
It is.
Oh.
But Elder just blessed
It's
us all.
Shabbat.
Yes, we all got
Earrings.
blessed by an elder.
So
Some turquoise and silver.
we all know I get. It's kind of my routine to get up and kind of share this with the rest of DOH every morning. So I read it every morning before we get on the live and everything. And so there's some things that I was thinking about as I was reading it this morning. And you know, we go through life and we think about how our attitude can shape who we are. And some of us wait around sometimes for this big moment that's going to transform your life. And we're set in a pattern where we're just sitting there waiting, and we wait and we wait and we wait. But the trials of life continue to bring you down, and they continue to wear you down. And I think as you start to develop your relationship with Creator and with God, that your attitude starts to shift, and you start to engross yourself into things of humility or and love and compassion and kindness, and trying to become more or less a vision of who our Creator is, of who God is. And if anything, like, your relationship with Him should just be a reflection of who He is. And I try to exude that every day and who I am. I'm a failure at that every single day. I have to ask for forgiveness for that every single day. And so as I was thinking about that today, like, I was thinking about, man, I was like, how long in my life did I allow like pride and stubbornness and selfishness be the kind of the forefront of my life, to where I wasn't allowing myself to learn anything new, and I was allowing those to help me, not really help me, but it was the driving force in how I reacted to people and how I portrayed myself and how I was a father, how I was a husband. And I know that nobody is perfect and everybody has their faults. But man, this really put a lot of things into perspective for me whenever I thought about how, we talk about our relationship with Creator and how important it is. And it just made me reflect back to like how far that I've come once I realized that needs to be the first and foremost thing that I need to be focused on. And not just because it's what we're told to do, it's because it drives me in as who I am now. And because of that, I'm learning that not only do I need to work on that relationship, but I need to show other people how to build that relationship. And that type of attitude will drive you in a totally different direction than you ever thought it was ever going to drive you. And I just think it's important that we realize that there are times in our lives where there are eyes on us that we don't even know are there. And we influence people that we don't even know we're influencing. And so you're a representation of not just yourself, you're a representation of your family, you're a representation of your organization you're a part of, you're a representation of your tribe, but most of all, you're a representation of the attitude of God, of Creator. And if you don't take note of that, then how people see you and how people react to you is your sphere of influence begins to break down, and your sense of community starts to break down. And we know that in the recovery world that we're supposed to be building that community. And I think it's important to reflect back on what we're doing and that attitude of change and the attitude that we need to be focused on is just part of that. Sorry, there's a big old cheer going on in
Ice
the other
Cube.
room.
What are they chanting?
I have no idea.
Friday.
Oh.
But yeah, that was the gist of what I was trying to say.
Oh.
Wait, say that again.
Oh,
Hey.
You know,
about-
that's a great ideal. You know, if you've never even had that concept in your head that spiritual values are an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've had an attitude problem, I've been told, most of my life. You know, is
You may or may not still have.
Depends on who you are and how you look at it.
Yeah.
But we all do.
You know, so I mean, you know, a good part of my life, I've been told, you know, I have an attitude problem. But I want to say that I don't think my values lined up with, you know, and you know, I'll just say with my white teacher in my white classroom. You know, like I didn't see the importance of. I couldn't see the love and the kindness and the things that they were teaching us. You know, so I just didn't agree. You know, I just didn't agree with. So you know what happened was I started getting left behind because I couldn't. I didn't understand. You know. From what I was being taught at home to, you know, what was going on, you know, in my everyday life, you know, in school, like I just didn't really ever feel a part of that world. You know, so I mean, you know, I was kind of pushed to the back, you know, kind of, and it was crazy because, you know, like when you're in elementary and they have award days.
Yeah.
I never got an award. I'd look down at me and Craig be the only one.
Dang.
Laughing at each other, you know, like
Craig's like, no one needed it.
yeah, like man,
Yeah.
like you know, like we I don't think neither one of us grasped the concept because we were being taught spiritual values at home.
Yeah.
You know, like we didn't grasp, you know, what 4 times 4, how important that would be. Not to say that we never learned these things, but you know, like I think we understood things like on a spiritual level. You know, and the great thing about having somebody like my brother Craig is he would hold me like spiritually accountable. You know, like how come you don't know this? And then teach me. You know, why don't you know this and then but teach me? You know, like it was like, you know, like he made sure I knew I was Cheyenne. You know, like and you know, I was not only was taught that at home, but you know, like I see early on you know how honest he was with me. You know, about what was going on. You know, I remember one time you know, we had a bad attitude. You know, we just had a bad attitude. And with the responsible adults that were around us, you know, I felt like it was a constant battle. You know, I remember one time there was 2 teachers. Miss Tyson and Miss Green, I want to say. And we come in, and the basketball game before that, there's this kid from Hinton that was, you know, picking on Indian kids, and my cousin Benji came and started trying to fight him. And then, you know, like we're the bad guys, you know, like this big guy was over there trying to fight, you know, on little Indian kids, and then somebody came over to fight him, and you know, like then they're looking at us like we're crazy, you know. Well, then the next basketball game, you know, when you're from a small town, a basketball game's like a big deal, you know.
It's crowded.
So Craig was going to take me because he had some money. And we go in, and I remember Craig giving them the money to pay for both of us. And I remember the one took the money and looked at the other one and said, I can't believe that these Indians are trying to come to the game.
Wow.
You know, and it was just like, and Craig looks at me. He goes, man, F these bees.
Crazy.
Dang.
I just turned all red, like, oh. You know, like, oh, you know, like. But whenever it came Monday, and the coach, that was the coach's wife that said that, when he came and got Craig and said, I heard you called my wife a B word. But I think Craig told him what she said to us first, as a teacher at this school.
Yeah.
As supposed to be somebody we can turn to for safety.
Right.
Wait, what school was this at?
Oh, this was in Thomas.
Oh.
And it was, that's kind of like the environment that I grew up in.
Wow.
And so like I was, told by these people that I had an attitude problem my whole life, and I let it, it kept showing up in different places in my life, and luckily it got to move to El Reno, and it was on like a totally different scale of what having a bad attitude actually means.
NWA.
Yeah.
Natives
with attitude.
Yeah, see.
And I just always heard these negative things about me and my attitude. Well then going through life and kind of understanding, having that attitude of addiction, because I feel like that's a whole nother attitude too, but then, finding some wellness, finding some sobriety, understanding things on a level that I never knew existed. And then being introduced to these spiritual values, these spiritual principles, and practicing these things in all our affairs. Learning how to apologize. Learning how to do the right thing when nobody's looking. All these different things that, that changed my attitude about life. It definitely changed my attitude about how I perceive this world, and how it shouldn't have ever mattered how anybody looked at me. It should have mattered about how I looked at myself. And so today, having those things keep showing up where I need them, having these spiritual, but at the same time, I also, I got a lot of defects. I got all kinds of defects.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
That come out,
Yeah.
But I mean, believe me, I swear it used to be way worse. Ask David. He had to beat me up one time.
We always have that in our back pocket too.
But ask him who started that fight. Do you think he walked up and swung on me?
I don't know. He still had to swing it around though.
He did, but it was after I swung on him though.
Yeah.
Like he didn't come up and start that fight with me. That's how bad my attitude was. Guy twice my size, I'm gonna go there and start a fight with him.
Oh my gosh. Just looking for trouble. And you still are, just in different ways.
Yeah, now I'm too fat to be slung around like that. But I get to experience, a different attitude. Like I said, I'm only 4 years and 5 months into this thing. 4 years and 5 months. I never knew how having a good attitude mattered from having a bad attitude.
Right.
I lived in fear. I lived in that fear-based mode, and today I get to practice love. They say you can't give away what you don't have. So, if only I could go back and talk to that little boy that had to hear that teacher tell him that. Like why does it matter what she thinks? Like why does it matter what that whole family thought?
Yeah.
Because when not only we had to deal with the husband, the wife, and the kids.
Oh my gosh.
I just think about I wish I could have went back and talked to that little boy. That because I mean here I am 45 years old and I can still remember it like it was yesterday. And I'm so grateful that my brother Craig, I'm glad he said that to them ladies.
Yeah.
You know, because it needed to be said. You know, but would I handle it in a different way today? Definitely. You know, would I teach my kids to handle it differently today? You know, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because their moms are so regular. Like, go tell your mom and they'll go get a hold of it. Yeah.
I know. It's like just important that we instill
Yeah.
the self
Same
love and
values.
confidence and strength that
The
our kids
awareness.
need. The
Yeah,
awareness.
The awareness. You know,
to
because
handle these situations that life is going to throw at them every day.
I didn't know that I could have gotten them in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought since they were somebody that were, you know,
Higher up.
you know, that I just, because that's how they've always treated us.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't just start with them. You know, it started years ago from whenever we were like in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they had their mind made up about who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember there's like 5 or 6 of us that got swatted in kindergarten.
Oh my gosh.
You know, and they didn't call our moms or nothing.
Yeah.
And one of them went up there and started chasing that teacher around the teacher around the desk. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to remember,
That's
Tatum
not
grew
okay.
up in the time without the corporal punishment stuff.
Aww. This is what
Whereas
they used
when-
to do.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
when we got in trouble, they had paddles on the wall. They'd bring down.
Yeah. They beat your ass.
Yeah, and they'd knock you around.
I'd be the mom chasing the teacher because no one's going to punish my child other than me. But do we have some comments?
Yeah, Des came back. She said, "Glad y'all are having fun. He is literally making use of everyone's desk."
I knew it.
Not
I
mine.
know.
Darian said, "Everyone's desk is my workstation."
Not mine.
I
He's
get-
just doing it on purpose
Yeah.
at this point.
But now that you said that, I guarantee he's going to.
He's got to move my laptop. He's got to do all that. He ain't
He'll
gonna
do it
all
on
that.
purpose.
Mhm.
Well, it's not even a desk; it's a table.
He's going to get paint on your chair. No. I just want to express my gratitude to the creator for allowing everyone that made it here safely, you know, not only us, but everyone that traveled from so far to get here. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people drove here like 20 something hours, 19 hours, you know, and it's just really special that we get to all be in this place for the next 2 to 3 days all together. And so I think
It's a beautiful thing.
there's a lot to be grateful for today.
Definitely.
And the next is lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go see what they're having up there
Yeah.
in the Cascade Room.
Mhm.
Is that right now?
It
Yeah.
is.
Oh, hell.
That's
I'm
where everybody
I'm getting
is
out of
right
here.
now.
All right.
Thank you all for
We
tuning
will-
in.
If
We'll
we
be
get some
back.
special guests,
Let's go come back live.
if we
again.
get some
Yeah.
special guests, we will be back.
Mhm.
Yep.
So like, share, follow, tell your mammy about us, and we will see
Ice
you
Cube, baby.
later.